how to trade support and resistance in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to find setups that will help you to make good money or good profits on the chart. So this applies to any assets that you are trading. All right, so let's get right into the chart. So here you can spot that markets, after dropping sharply to the downside, right? So we started making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So literally this was trending to the upside. But then how would you join? How would you join this trend to the upside on the 30 minutes time frame? This is BTC USD that we're talking about. Okay, so here look at this. So you see that here was a support, okay, because price bounced off from this level to the upside. So I'm gonna mark out this zone here and then trace it all the way through to this level. You see how it has been a sensitive area or a key level in the chart. Okay, so we see that market gravitated towards this level. So we had a touch here because this was what support that got broken, now becomes what resistance. So it became a resistance at this zone. So here supposedly we almost had a touch in that zone. If I should stretch it out, you could see that we had a touch there, then we had price falling off. But then we had a change in structure in this zone as well because price took out this high. It didn't make any lower low. It just started making higher highs and higher lows, forming to the upside. All right. So here I can also mark out this zone here. So this is potential resistance level, right? Because price sold off aggressively from the side, and then we almost touched it. Then we had a sell off again, and then a bounce back. But then what I'm talking about here is support being broken. So this resistance level here got broken to the upside. So we had a break in structure. So now the resistance becomes your new what floor, which is the support. So this is a simple strategy that you can use for yourself. Once you see or you've identified, right? So let's do an example here. So let's say we have a zone. So let's call this our support or resistance level. Okay, and then we have price moving from support. So when we have price doing this, right, it finds a floor or support, then breaks the resistance. So this is our resistance level. When it breaks the resistance, we don't rush in to enter the trade. What we need to wait for is a pullback into the resistance that got broken. Then we take our next trade to the upside, targeting 1:2 or 1:3 risk reward ratio, right? With certain confluences. So this is exactly what happened on BTC USD 30 minutes chart. So if you watch clearly or if you watch closely, is exactly what just happened here. So we had market forming higher highs and higher lows. Then it broke out of this resistance level. Then we had a pullback. You always need to exercise patience. So you had the pullback into the resistance, which now becomes your new what support zone. All you need to wait for is candlestick confirmation. Then you take the trade to the upside. So when you watch closely, right, there were certain candlestick patterns that formed there. So we had certain candlestick patterns that formed here. So there are several ways to enter the trade to the upside. We had this coming in. So this was like a harami, right? Hope you guys can see. So this was like a harami that came in, and then you can enter the trade here to the upside. So here in this trade, you could have entered here, or you wait for this bullish engulfing candle to enter the trade here, right? So let's say we entered or we caught the trade at that side. We set our stop loss below candle, then we target 1:2 or 1:3 risk reward ratio. So this gave about 1:4 risk reward ratio, reaching out for this high over here, or let's say resistance rather. All right, so this is a simple support and resistance setup that you can find on any chart any day. So you can go to your chart, practice this, and make sure you like and sub to the channel for more daily concepts and strategies that you can use for yourself, that you can make money with. So make sure you like, leave a comment, and then sub. Thank you.